Let me ask Stephen to talk to you.
Hello, Stephen.
Hello, DJ. How are you?
Hey, good. How are you doing?
Okay, thanks.
Hey, I'm going to enable you to chair this,
Okay,
giving you, so I've enabled screen sharing to full capacity to anyone.
okay,
And I'm trying to enable you chair responsibility. We are live on our YouTube, on our channel, Clintonville YouTube channel. And we are currently being recorded, but I am not going to be here for the duration of the meeting. So I am doing my best to enable you with this full facilitator. So I'll let you know when I have that in full swing, okay?
okay, thanks. We still don't have our first applicant yet. Oh,
Okay.
I think we do now. Yes, we do have our first applicant now. Let's give everyone another minute or two to log on. Let's see, I need to do participant. Still doesn't list me as host. Got one of the members asking for a link to the meeting.
And please be reminded that all meeting agenda and all CAC meeting links are on the CAC website calendar.
Yes. I understand that sometimes it is, sometimes people just need to see the link. There we go. CC. Copy.
All right, Stephen, you should be the host now.
Okay. So I don't know if the, I think I might have actually made things worse for them by trying to put the link on here because it didn't copy correctly.
And sometimes it's probably going to, until we have in-person meetings again, it might be best just to kind of reiterate to everybody that there is a one-stop shop for all CAC related information at the CAC website, and all meeting links and agendas are publicly disseminated at that centralized location. That
Okay.
way, they don't get
Well,
confused.
yes, and I do see that I am now the host, and I see if there's anyone. Oh, they're waiting to get in.
Okay, all right.
So
You're on.
we have a quorum, and we have our first applicant here. So I'm going to call the meeting to order at 7:03. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 members of the committee here. I think I'm expecting one more. Mike McLaughlin and Diane Hayford to both have excused absences. Since we do have a quorum, and I'll try to watch for the other people joining us. Let's get started. Do I have any objections to the agenda by the committee members? Approved without objection. Consider the previous meeting minutes. I distributed them. Michael Hawes pointed out that twice I said, what I said here and cooling instead of heat and cooling. So with those two corrections, does anyone else have any other corrections, or do I have a motion?
Move to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, I don't know. I barely heard who that was by. Was that the Lucas? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? They approved 6-0. Which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, approved 6-0. 6-0 with correction. Okay, then I wrote, oh yeah, I put on the minutes, the next meeting will be September 23rd. Obviously, that's not correct. The next meeting will be October 28th. As our next committee meeting will be October 28th. And I apologize for the delay. I'm keeping the minutes as we go along. Variance agenda. The first one on the agenda is 61 East Dunedin, BZA 28083. In order to rebuild their garage on the same footprint of the existing garage, homeowners Jay Hall and Jill Ford asked for a variance to reduce the side yard setback from 3 feet to 1.8 feet. And as I noted in the minutes, I did receive an email of support from the most immediate neighbors at 67 East Dunedin. This is on, as I understand it, this is on the exact same footprint of the existing garage, and it will not be moving any closer, but it's just because they're no longer grandfathered, they need the variance. So we will do this. The applicant can give a brief presentation and questions from the committee, then any questions from the public. You can ask questions either by joining our Zoom meeting, which is CAC Chair White pointed out. You go to our website, clintonvilleareacommission.org, and look at the entry for today's meeting. It's on the calendar for today. You will find the link to that. You can also email me at hardwick.zoning@gmail.com, and I will check that email address before any vote. Again, hardwick.zoning@gmail.com. That Mr. Hall, is that you? Are you here to speak for your variance?
Yes.
Okay, you're recognized now.
Yes. So I don't know, this is all new to me, so I don't know exactly what's expected of me. Sorry.
Well, do you have anything to add to the presentation I did that you are rebuilding the garage on the same footprint, but
No,
that it's
yeah,
grandfathered?
no, not really. I mean, it's a super simple project. Like now that I've gone through this and I looked at the other ones, I see that like it's basically that's all there is we are, we're in Clintonville, so we have an old garage, and basically the door won't even lift up anymore without like coming apart. So it was about time to do something about it. So we had a bunch of contractors out to look at it, and we like our backyard, and most of them wanted to like make some huge garage. And we just wanted to keep the same footprints. Also, it's like $10,000 cheaper to do it that way. So that is why we are filling the variance. And I might have said something in the thing, but basically I would assume, since they won't have to do any digging, that this will be less disruptive of both our yards, because they can just knock the old one down and then reuse the foundation, and they won't have to do a bunch of digging to build a new foundation.
Okay.
So we're just going to tear down the old junky one that's falling apart and put up new walls on the existing foundation. Really basic garage, nothing fancy.
Okay. Thank you. And do I have any questions from the committee? Do I not see any? And one thing I maybe I'll talk with the commission about this, but in the one practice I've had is with the permission of the chair of the commission and the member of the district, that we tell applicants they don't have to show up if they're only asking for a small height variance, and maybe we should do the same, start doing the same if all they want is to build on the same footprint and the immediate neighbor doesn't complain, whether we can tell people they don't have to bother showing up anymore. We're still learning as we go along, Mr. Hong. But
Hey, I'm glad to be the guinea pig. It's fine.
unless there are any questions, do I have a motion?
I move to approve
Any
the new
objection?
improved garage on the same footprint.
Do you have any, is there a second?
I'll second.
Any commentary from the committee? Oh, and I should have asked, there's no one from the public on Zoom, and I need to keep my commitment before the vote to double check my email to make sure that there's, let's see here. So that no one's called in. Sharon Groves has told me, says that she's in, but she has a call that she has to make. So she should be showing up briefly. Okay, let's take a vote then. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? No, and I vote yes as well. So that's approved 6-0. And then the next meeting will be for the CAC on October 1st at 7 o'clock. BJ White should be there. You'll find the Zoom information as on the website, just like you found this information. And I'll do the same thing. I'll make a presentation. I thank you very much, and I will. Now I'm going to take a minute to try to find Sharon Groves, who says she is here, but I can't see her.
Okay. Would you like me to stick around, or is that all you need?
No, you are welcome to stay if you really want to. We are welcome to go on with your evening.
Okay. I will bid you adieu then. Thanks.
Okay. Thanks. And I'm just telling Sharon Groves I don't see her, and I'm looking at my list of participants. I'm trying to think if there's any place I need to look for. That would be where we would put people, where people would show up. Try to think if there's any other place to do this. I don't see any other way to get her on, because it's simply, oh, well, let me move on. Next one is 456 East Dunedin, BZA 20070. What is the link, she asked? Go to the calendar on the CAC's page for today. Hopefully she'll join us. Yeah, one thing I stopped doing is sending the specific link to the meeting, because we're trying to get people used to having it all in the same place. 456 East Dunedin, BZA 20070, in order to replace a garage on the same size destroyed by a falling tree, homeowners Thomas and Rebecca McKenzie asked for variances to increase the allowed area from 720 to 960 feet and increase the allowed garage height from 15 feet to 20 feet. I did in fact receive their screening form, which I did not send out, and that is my fault, not theirs. Do I see either of them here? I don't see either of. Oh, there you are, Thomas McKenzie. Okay,
Yep.
Let me read your. Because I didn't distribute it publicly before the meeting, I need to read it, so I can't let. One thing the city attorney said is we can't send things out that the public didn't see in advance, and that's my fault. And he said, we are requesting a height variance so we can match the garage roof to that of the house. We also plan to side the garage in cedar shake, painted to match the home as well. We are rebuilding the garage in the same spot that it was existing. The location is only visible from the street by looking straight down from the drive, as it is not visible otherwise due to our home and our neighbor's home. By rebuilding on the existing pad, we will not be further contributing to stormwater runoff or disturbing any existing trees or topography. Any seasonal vegetable garden is behind our garage and we'll be installing rain barrels to capture and reuse the rain from the garage gutters to water our plants. Again, this is similar to the other one with one additional variance. With one additional variance, that's the size variance. As I understand it, that was the size of the original garage as well. Mr. McKenzie, would you like to say anything? Would you like to talk on behalf of your variance?
Sure. We had a large tree destroy our garage early in the summer in one of the large rainstorms, and we're simply trying to rebuild it where it was. It was a block garage, and we wanted to kind of improve upon it to make it look like our house and fit better with the neighborhood. So we're asking for a height variance as well so that it will match the slope of the roof of the house. One comment I do have is that the city recommended that we add windows to the north and south facing gable ends. So I've updated the drawings to the city to include windows above the garage door and on the back of the garage on the gable ends.
So on the front and back.
Yes, the front and back, exactly. And for what it's worth, I'll be rebuilding this myself, and it was my next door neighbor's idea, and the other adjacent neighbor will be helping rebuild it as well. So I can't assume that they would be up in arms about helping me to rebuild a garage.
Okay. Do I have questions from the committee? Sharon Groves is here.
Yay.
Okay, there we go. Hi, Sharon. Sorry. Okay, committee member Sharon Groves is here. Do I have any questions from the committee? Groves around. Okay. Let me check my email as promised so that we don't miss any. Here we go. And no one has emailed me. So do I have a motion?
I'll move to approve.
Go ahead.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstain? So I'm recording that as 7 approve. Recommended approval 7 to nothing. Okay, the same thing. I don't know if you were here for Paul.
Yes.
Of course, you're welcome to stay and watch the zoning meeting if you want to. Otherwise, we'll see you on a week from tomorrow at the commission meeting.
Wonderful. I've got some kids to put to bed. Have a great evening, guys.
Okay. Okay. Have a nice evening. Okay. Thank you. Now it's actually, I think technically we need, because this was tabled last week, my Robert's Rules of Order might be a little rusty, but as I understand it, we probably need a motion to take this off the table. Do you have a motion to take this off the table so we can discuss it?
I make a motion to take this off the table.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion to, any abstentions? The table approved. Motion to take off the table approved 7-0. Okay, now this is the business owner. Is it Ariane Permetti? Asked for a variance at 3369 Indianola to reduce the required parking spaces from 26 to 17 spaces. Attached to the linked in the agenda is a shared parking agreement for spaces across the street to make up for this. He is not asking to use anyone else's parking lot. He's just, except for the people who've actually contracted with him to let him do so. So I understand he wants to put a restaurant where there is now a cell phone store. Would you like to present? Is your architect here as well? Or is it?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Which one of you would like? Yes. Is it Mr. Boutet, is that or
Boutte, that's close enough.
Boutet? Okay.
For some reason, my video is not working.
Okay.
Oh, I know why. There. Had tape on.
Okay.
it.
Okay.
I didn't want to uninvited guests. Anyway, one correction: the AT&T store is staying there. There used to be the adjacent tenant was a dentist, and so he's taken that space over to convert it to a restaurant, more of a takeout kind of facility, and so it's not really a high volume restaurant. And so our real request is the parking requirements is that we reduce it from the I'm trying to think what numbers we had here.
24 to 17.
Right. I've been working with one gentleman so much I forget what the numbers are. But anyway, we're just looking at a variance for the parking. Other than there's no differences on the exterior, the parking, or the sign improvements. It's all strictly interior.
And can I just clarify? I know the city had suggested that you asked for a variance down to 16 to do some landscaping. Have you been able to work that out with the city?
The problem is when we look at the property, I don't see how we could add any landscaping. I love the idea. Because everything's so solid paved and been paved for so long. I think if we tore something up in a sense to do any landscaping, it would not survive. Now we could do some potted stuff.
Okay. And you said I have it written down as from 26 to 17. You said it's now 24 to 17?
No, it's 26 to 17.
Okay.
That is correct.
Okay. Is 26 to, and how many spaces were in the space that you have in the parking agreement?
Aaron,
Remember?
Yes, sir.
your head parking spaces were in your agreement.
Yeah, so the way it worked is because we ended up getting for the AT&T. So the AT&T store is mine. We currently had to sell the contract because it was with the COVID. We weren't going anywhere, so unfortunately we're not using that. But it was part of the lease. We were leasing originally it was A, B, and rear. And we just had to change when we started the process with the restaurant, we had to change it 3369 and 3371. So we were required the whole parking except for upstairs. It was 1.5 per unit, and there's 4 units, so 6. However many parking spots there is minus 7. I'm so sorry.
No, but across the street, I should have just asked, you have 8 parking spaces. You have a contract for 8 parking spaces across the street. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, that's what I want. That's what I was
I'm
clarifying.
sorry. I misunderstood.
So you're going from 26 to 17. You want a 9-space variance, and you've arranged for 8 of those spaces across the street. That's what I'm trying to make sure.
I'm so sorry.
Okay. Do you have anything else you'd like to say before we open this up to questions from the committee?
I mean, it's basically simply stated on there what we're trying to do. I apologize for last time. I was very unaware of the situation when we were on here. But that's why I ended up getting some help from the architect. He has a lot more knowledge than I do with everything that's going on.
Okay.
Terry, did you have anything?
I think we've got everything that we need to address at this point.
Okay. Well, do you have any questions from the committee?
No, sir.
No, from the committee. I want to see if any of my committee members have questions.
Steve, I do.
Yeah. Yes. Go ahead, Michael.
One of the other comments that I saw from city staff addressed the potential need for ADA compliant parking spaces. Did you have any further discussion with city staff on that item?
Yes, sir. We talked to them. There is an existing ADA parking space It is angled. We have the signage on the side of the building. And we don't have the symbol in the parking space, but we do have the signage on the building. And their discharge area would be over to a slight paved area and then the sidewalk. And if you look in the floor plan, I'm sorry, the site plan is the first space as you come in on your right side.
I see. The other question I have would be, in that case, city had also commented on the desire for landscaping separating the parking lot from the Indianola street side. Would any landscaping there also interfere then with that ADA space, since it would be located against it?
Yes, it would. In that particular space, the only place I saw that we could, quote, introduce landscaping would be to the left of the entrance to the property. That's the only place we see. And if we come out on the other side road there, the whole road takes up the lane, the property. So there's really nowhere left to put any landscaping along that line.
And if I may, one further comment, what the city also had addressed the desire for bike racks to be included in the project here to help alleviate some of the parking requirements. Has that been considered?
Yes, as you enter that property on that same area, on the left side, I had designated a place for bicycle racks for parking there, which gave them ample room to move in, secure the bikes, and not be in vehicle, automobile traffic zones.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the committee?
I have a question, Stephen.
Okay.
I think it was brought up last month. Well, I guess this is more of a question for Arian and Terry, but is there going to be a drive-through pickup window?
There was discussion of that. I don't know. Where have you gone with that, Aaron, or that thought? Have you dropped it?
As of right now on the plan, there is a drive-through window, but it's not technically a drive-through. It's more considered as a service window instead of a drive-through.
Okay, so my follow-up kind of comment to the committee would be, you know, there's the India Oaks apartments that are directly adjacent to this property. And looking at the parking layout, I'm assuming the traffic flow would be coming west off Indianola and then head north to Oakland Park Avenue. And, you know, I think it's something to consider, the amount of traffic that'll be coming through there, headlights shining into windows of the India Oaks apartments.
Right. So the drive-through is not really going to be considered as a drive-through. It's more of a service window. The service window is for pedestrians if they want to, if they're walking, because I've noticed also during the summertime, Clintonville has a lot of people that like to walk in that neighborhood. So I was thinking about doing it, but if it's a issue, I don't have to utilize it. It was just an idea.
And the other reason we dropped the idea of the drive-through window is that it would technically end up on the passenger side, which is not conducive to operation. And the thing is we were looking at the parking situation and the fencing that was suggested at one point, and we're basically our cars facing cars in that whole area, because we basically have a parking shelter that's facing this property. So we'd be cars shining lights at cars.
Yeah. So what is the difference? A service window just means it's not accessible for cars. It's
Yes, sir.
so
It's a walk-up window.
it's a walk-up window.
I think
Would
GD
that
Ritzy
be
says, GD Ritzy says one of those on High Street that seems to get a fair amount of activity and works well.
Well, I can't say they have if they did have a drive-through, so as I understand it, their parking requirements would go down even farther because that's what was happened with the Jimmy John's. I think that's the main reason Jimmy John's wanted a drive-through so they could have less parking. They didn't
Right.
really-
Sir, so if I may, the goal here is to focus mainly on carryouts, to do deliveries, because from what I've seen, Uber Eats, Grubhub, DoorDash is where people are more relying on right now. As far as the restaurant itself, doesn't have enough room for a lot of tables. So we wouldn't be getting a lot of dine-ins. It's mostly come and go.
too.
Would the potential service window be on the east side of the building, on the Indianola Avenue side?
No, it's back on the west
The
side.
west side. Sorry, Kelly.
Okay.
Yes, it is on the west side, facing the apartments and the parking lot.
Do you know
So,
what your
again,
potential
my
hours?
only-
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Drew.
I was just going to say, again, my only potential concern, is with the effect that this will have on the India Oaks apartments. If people are congregating there, or even with traffic flow, if that's the way to get out of this building or this parking lot, whether there's a service window or not, I think there is going to be some kind of impact to the residents there.
Now, the parking lots are separated with a garage. The Indian Oak apartments have their own garage, and it's separated from our parking lot.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily talking about from a parking standpoint, and I understand that's what the variance request is for. But it's more in regards to the city's comments about screening. And in my opinion, screening would make more sense on the west side of this building if there's going to be people back there, waiting in line at a service window.
I completely understand.
And-
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go and one thing I can tell you, if they do change the variance after the CAC has approved it, what they generally do is the city will call Chair White and say, do you want to put it on the agenda again? And what we can do is, the committee, I think, can make a recommendation that we support more screening, or maybe this is just more of a matter for the commission to discuss, where they can at least openly discuss whether they would want Chair White to be able to say, don't come back if they came back, if the applicant and the city found a way to do screening but needed another spot or two to make it work. But Kelly, you had a question?
Just curious what his operating hours were anticipated.
So we're focusing mostly on lunch and dinner. So regular hours that I've seen, but with the COVID right now, no longer than 10 p.m. As far as summertime comes, what I had planned was on weekends to keep it open till 11 p.m. and open at 11 a.m.
Thanks.
You're very
As
welcome.
I understand it, part of your business model is appealing to the India Oaks apartment and all the new apartments and condos that are being built along there. Correct? Your customer base, India Oaks, you're hoping to be part of your customer base.
Right, and a lot of them have been seeing us working, and honestly, they're always come by and tell me like they can't wait till it opens. We do have a lot of support from the locals there. If down the street, there's a couple apartments too that are getting ready to expand. I know there's already some people that have already moved in. a couple of those have came through asking about the restaurant as well.
Okay. Do I have other questions from the committee? Okay. And I think I do one last check for here. We don't have any members of the public.
Oh,
on
actually,
Zoom.
I did have one
Huh.
question about the parking at Tonga. Will that be like on the back side of their building?
Yes, ma'am. It'll be so right behind them there's a AT&T store, or not an AT&T store, it's a AT&T
Right, the big.
correct. Yes, ma'am. So we're gonna have, as soon as you enter in the parking lot, the whole left side. It's between the AT&T and Tonga.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. And I have no other emails from the public. Do I have any more questions from the committee? Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, motion to approve and second. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Did I do that partly because it's hard for me to, go ahead.
I would just like to add a comment to, I approve as well, but I would like to add a comment that I think
Absolutely.
screening in lieu of like plant screening, I think like a fence or something would make sense on the west side of the building to separate India Oaks parking from where the service window would be.
In fact, Mr. Miller, you're absolutely right, because I actually was talking to the architect about that. Since they actually do have a garage and they have the poles, I was actually thinking about getting that black net to separate the two parking lots. I think that would help as well. I don't know if you guys ever seen it. It looks like a fence, but it's like the black screen.
I've not.
I've not,
Sure.
but maybe that's something you can have ready to show the commissioners when you come up. And I would also suggest that if you could get the screening form, I know the commissioners are the ones who push for that, and sometimes I would just suggest it's better to have that than to not have that, just because it does, if they do ask questions about how it fits into the neighborhood plan, that it's all focused around that, and so that might help you to be ready for some potential questions. But anyway, you have now been but do any other committee members have a comment they want me to record for the commission? Okay. Then we're on, I've already given you the announcement of when the commission's meeting is, October 1st, a week from tomorrow. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second. Any objection?
No.
Approved without objection, 7-0. Everyone, the meeting is adjourned. Everyone have a nice evening.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Stephen.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Have a good night.
See ya.